Got the water.
See you that much. Perfect.
Water.
Good. See it again.
I'm about to look at it now in a second. Give me 1 second. So that's all right. Yeah, it's good. It's water. Yeah, this is too water. Sounds good too. All right, Shalom, Israel, Yahweh, Bashim Yashar, B'Katham, Yahweh Shematham, Bashim Yashar. I am priest and officer of 5,000. You die holding it down. So 12 children on Muhammad. You know what I mean? Is ready to go and rock and roll. 12 children on Muhammad is here. Be down shortly. Got to understand, as Blacks, Latinos, and First Nation men and women, we have to understand, you know what I mean, that we have to come back to the Most High. How do we do that? We come back into the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. The problem is, man, that you think, you know what I mean, that there is much to gain out there in the world, in America. There is nothing to gain. Right now, we are spiritually dead as Blacks, Latinos, and First Nation men and women. How do you know that we are spiritually dead, Malakia? I'll tell you what. We believe that it is okay to go out there on Tuesday, the 4th of July, and celebrate Karam, the oppressor's holiday, his Independence Day. Like, what do you think, Karam, what do you think we were doing in 1776? You know what I mean? July 4th. Well, that's right. Picking cotton, getting raped, getting brutalized by the same oppressor that encourages us to celebrate with him now. The oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. El hombre blanco es el diablo. We got to understand this. The 4th of July is not our independence. No. It ain't our independence. Oh, no. Here's the thing. We have our holy days too, Malakia. Right. We got the Sabbath. We have the Lord's Passover, man. The Lord's Passover. You know what I mean? When our Lord delivered us out of Egypt, man, by the hand of the Most High, you know what I mean? Getting us out of Egypt, getting us out of captivity under them Africans, man. The Feast of Unleavened Bread, the Feast of First Fruits, the Feast, you know what I mean? The memorial of the blowing of the trumpets, the Feast of Tabernacles, man. We have our holy days and we have feast days. You know what we have to do instead of worrying about the oppressor's holidays? Somebody give me Deuteronomy 32 and verse 7. Deuteronomy 32 and verse 7. That's the one thing we got to get and understand. That's the one thing we have to understand. Because we have forgotten. We have forgotten who we are as a people. We have forgotten who our God is, who our King is, man. You think it's all right. You think it's okay to be free, white, and 21 with the oppressor on his Independence Day. That's why I don't understand too, Malakia. A lot of y'all was out there on Juneteenth. I saw you. I saw you on Juneteenth. Right. You know what I mean? Lift every voice and sing out there. Just this, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Doing the blackity black thing. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Here's the problem. Like 12 Children General Muhammad broke down. Juneteenth is about to become an oppressor holiday soon enough. Right. They taking over. They try to make it inclusive for everybody. Some oppressors' daughters said a national day of freedom. So you're going to celebrate Juneteenth, which is supposed to be for black people, and then celebrate the 4th of July? You can't do that. You can't do that. How about this, more importantly? You got it, Karam? Deuteronomy 32 and 7?
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32, verse 7.
But
remember the days of old.
Remember the days of old. We got to remember the days of old. We have to remember how things were, how things used to be. Because guess what? It was glorious, man. Glorious. Knowing that we are the 12 tribes of Israel, keeping the commandments of our God, understanding, you know what I mean, that our King died so we can come back into this truth. We have to remember the days of old. We have to remember that we have our holy days. We have feast days. We have commandments that we have to keep. We do. You can't, listen, Christ even said you can't serve two masters. You can't think you can, you know what I mean, serve the Most High and serve the oppressor. You can't do that. You have to make a decision. The Lord is already telling us, man, we got to remember the days of old. And in remembering the days of old, also remember this. Remember on what they used to do to us as well. Never forget. They quick to tell us not to forget about Independence Day. Don't forget about, you know what I mean, George Washington, Ben Franklin, Thomas Jefferson, slave masters who's on your dollar bills, who's on these bills, you know what I mean, the currency of America. And guess what? Remember all of the wicked things they continue to do to us on top of the things they did to us in the past. It's a video circulating online, man, of how they whipped this poor brother and then fired him up and set him ablaze. You know when they did that? On the 4th of July. They did it. And they still abuse us. They still murder us. That's why we have to remember the days of old, not to forget how things were, not to forget about our God, our King, not to forget about, you know what I mean, the dead Israelites, you know what I mean, our ancestors, man, that fell, that perished under, you know what I mean, the captivity, under this wicked oppressor. Keep reading.
Consider the years of many generations.
Consider the years of many generations. Consider the years of many generations. You got to understand something. Guess what? We did not celebrate the 4th of July. We didn't. There was nothing to celebrate. That's a day where the white man can be as free, white, and 21 as he can. And when I say being free, white, and 21, you got to think back, 1776, them getting their independence from England. You know what came from independence from England, what the oppressor did over here? The rape and mass genocide of the North American Indian, known as the tribe of Gad, the Seminole Indians, who are known as the tribe of Reuben, the Mexicans, who are the tribe of Issachar, that so-called Negro, man, of the tribe of Judah, on what the oppressor has done to us as a collective, and not just over here. Ask the Taino Indian. You know what I mean? The tribe of Ephraim, they call them, you know, the oppressor calls them Puerto Ricans. Puerto Rico means rich port. It's supposed to be a U.S. province, you know, a territory, you know what I mean, of America. They abused them too. As Blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians, we have to wake up. We have to realize that we have to remember the days of old, that we are family. Nosotros somos familia una raza.
Right.
Meaning we are family, Black, Latino, and First Nation man and woman. And we all we got. We are one people, one race. And once we come to understand that, you know what we won't do? We won't celebrate the oppressor's 4th of July. You won't. You think it's just a regular day off, or you could just fire that grill up. Karam, let me tell you something. I'm speaking from experience. So y'all, you know what I mean? Y'all know it too. It's been hot as hell these past 2 weeks. It has been hot as hell these past 2 weeks. You mean to tell me you couldn't have fired up the grill any other day? You couldn't have fired up the grill any other day, put some steaks on there, put some beef hot dogs, put some turkey legs on there. You know what I mean? You know how Israel get down, Karam. You got to do it because the oppressor told you to? No. Don't bring that grill out on the 4th of July. Don't do that. Don't do that. That is an evil thing to do. We'll get into it, man. The Lord ain't smelling none of that anyway. Our God told us to remember the days of old and consider the years of many generations. Consider the years of many of us that came before us. The prophets ain't celebrating the 4th of July. The disciples ain't celebrated. Christ ain't celebrated. Hell, our ancestors that were around the time of 1776 was not celebrating the 4th of July. We were the victims of the 4th of July. And we're still the victims of the 4th of July today. That's what we got to understand. Keep reading.
Ask thy father, and he will show thee.
Ask thy father, and he will show thee. Ask thy father. Ask the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under Commander General Yohanan. Ask Commander General Yohanan. Ask General Muhammad. Ask General Mayak. Ask these generals. Ask these captains. Ask these officers. And we'll teach you. We'll show you just how wicked the oppressor truly is and the history behind it. And they not even try to hide it no more, Karam. You just don't want to see it. But it's right here. And it's going to get brought out. I pray you understand. Keep reading.
Thy elders, and they will tell thee.
Ask thy elders, and they will tell thee. Man, that's what we're doing here in the ISUPK.
Right.
Man, and Junior Yohana been holding this troop down since the 80s.
Right.
You know what I mean? Since the 80s, Malaki, since he was a young man and held on to this truth and did not give it up while everybody else fell weak. Everybody else compromised. We don't compromise here in the ISUPK. There is no compromise here. There's no bending. We don't do that. And we for damn sure are not going to break.
Right.
We're not. You're not going to catch us celebrating the 4th of July.
Right.
You're not going to catch any brother or sister in the UPK tomorrow firing up that grill. We ain't doing that. And you shouldn't do it neither, Black, Latino, First Nation man and woman. That's what we need to understand as the Lord's chosen people. Somebody get me. Give me Amos 5 and 21. Amos 5, verse 21. If y'all got any questions, hold your questions. The general will be down shortly.
Amos chapter 5, verse 21. I hate.
I what?
I hate.
The Lord said, I hate. I wonder what the Lord hates. Keep reading.
I despise your feast days.
What's so heavy about this? The Lord is saying, I hate. And I despise your feast days. I despise your 4th of July. I despise your birthday, your Christmas, your Thanksgiving. Our God despises these holidays. And yes, God despises your birthday too. Who the hell do you think you are? Not realizing that celebrating your birthday is a heathen custom. You're making yourself a god on that day. And the Lord said, thou shalt have no other gods before me. Ain't nothing special about you. And if a damn sure ain't nothing special about the 4th of July. The 4th of July, man, is an evil, evil, wicked time where the oppressor gets to go around and gloat and celebrate on how he conquered God's chosen people. For him to gain independence from another oppressor and then come enslave the children of Israel. The North American Indians are the children of Israel. The Seminole Indians are the children of Israel. The Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, Cubans, Guatemalans, you know what I mean, and Haitians and West Indians and Negroes are God's chosen people. And that is who the oppressor enslaved and oppressed, because he's the devil that the Bible speaks of.
Right.
Our God is saying, I hate and I despise your feast days. Keep reading.
And I will not smell in your solemn assemblies.
Meaning, I ain't gonna smell none of that barbecue you putting on the grill. The Lord ain't smelling none of that. He ain't trying to smell none of it. And you think, oh, you're doing something. You think you're gonna be doing something tomorrow. Our God said, I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. Even though you're going to get together, you're going to have that cookout, you're going to have a fire up the grill, the Lord is not going to smell none of it. Not going to. That's why it is important to understand this right here. It is important to understand. So, Quran, give me Romans 13 and verse 11. Romans 13 and verse 11. I like it.
Verse 11.
Romans chapter 13, verse 11. And that, knowing the time.
And that knowing the time. This is the time right here. A lot of our people, you think you woke. You think you woke right now. Right now, Karam, y'all, a lot of Israelis think that they woke and they are fast asleep. You fast asleep because you was just pro-black a couple weeks ago, Juneteenth, and now you're getting ready to put on that red, white, and blue jumpsuit. Our God said, what?
And that, knowing the time.
That knowing the time. Read.
That now it is high time to awake out of sleep.
Now it is high time, Shalom warriors, to wake out of sleep. Now it's the time to wake up because we fast asleep, you want to find. Fast asleep. You think it's all right to be free white in 21. You think it's all right to celebrate a day. You know what I mean? Right now?
No.
Oh, come on, let's go. Couple minutes. That's the thing. You think it's all right to celebrate that day. And it's an evil thing. An evil thing. Read that again.
Romans chapter 13, verse 11. And that, knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep.
It is high time to awake out of sleep. Now is the time to realize that we are fast asleep. And what you don't realize, man, separation is the key. When you realize that you don't have to go out there and buy a grill and buy those meats or go out, and it goes so beyond the 4th of July. Try not celebrating that. Memorial Day, Labor Day, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and then invest that money back into one another. I'll tell you something insane, Karam, that I've been following for a few weeks. That, Moab down there in Chinatown in Philadelphia, right? They had a couple of rallies in Chinatown because they don't want the Sixers to expand into Chinatown and build a practice facility. And they're saying you're not going to come and expand in our neighborhoods the way you expanded in other neighborhoods. What other neighborhoods did they do it in? They did it in South Philadelphia where we live. They did it in North Philadelphia with the Temple facility where the Owls play. Well, Moab is like, no, you're not going to come in here and build this. Where we're at. Imagine if we did that to Moab. Imagine if we did that to the Arabs and to the East Indians and to the oppressor, where we only dealt with each other. We're doing that here in the ISUPK and the Commander General Yohana. Now imagine if all of our people got on that one accord to cut the oppressor and to cut these heathens off that way by taking it out of our mind, taking these holidays out of our mind, taking the 4th of July out, taking Halloween and Christmas and Thanksgiving. My God, we could cripple them financially overnight. And all that money going back to where? Our communities, to where it's supposed to go. And it doesn't just have to stop there. Imagine if we did it, on social media. A lot of Israel was upset, and Elon Musk was messing with black content creators, messing with black content creators, trying to make them pay, for Twitter Blue. So two brothers and sisters decided to make their own app. Now imagine if we all did that, where we hopped off of their Facebook, their YouTube, their Twitter. We can do it. We do everything else. Like Malakia, we make everything that we go into great. Everything. Like the scripture says, man, what Christ said, we are the salt of the earth. We truly are. And what makes us the salt of the earth and what makes us a special people above everybody is because our God loved us and chose us. Now we have to reciprocate it back to our God, back to our King, and back to each other. And in doing that, we have to cut these heathens off. They are not worthy of our love. You see what they did. That's why the scripture says in Romans 13:11, it's time to, to rise, to come out of sleep, to wake up. How can you still be asleep to the fact that in 1776, we were picking cotton, getting abused, them coming up in them barns, man, where they would force us, to procreate. And they would go in there and rape sisters and rape brothers too, but called it buck breaking, and taking our babies and selling them and using them as alligator bait. But instead of remembering, that's why I started out with Deuteronomy 32 and verse 7, to remember the days of old, that these are things that they did to our people, and we forget. Our God told us to never forget, to arise and to wake and to come out of sleep. That being said, Alawah Panya. Slide. Okay, no sweat. That's back to what I was saying. Our God told us, man, not to forget these things, because we're quick to forget and quick to forgive the ones that are not worthy of forgiveness. It's past I'm sorry with the white man. Karam, a lot of our people don't want to hear that. We are past an apology, past and I'm sorry. We are past that with these other nations. You know who we need to apologize and forgive? Each other. That's what we need to do. We start with that, forgiving each other, forgiving your father, forgiving your mother, forgiving your brother and your sister, and coming back here in the UPK. What could stop us? What could defeat us? Nothing. Like, it's shameful that you're getting ready to go and celebrate this wicked holiday, man. Knowing the history of what happened to our people, Shalom, warrior. Knowing what happened in Rosewood. Knowing what happened in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Knowing what happened in 1985 and here in West Philadelphia up upon Osage Avenue. Like, that shit is crazy to me. That all of these evil and wicked things the oppressor does to us. And we still have that nerve to think, that we got to get in to fit in. No. Now is the time to get out. And what are we getting out of? The oppressor's world, America. It's time to kiss that goodbye. It's time to build our nation up. Read Romans 13 and verse 11 again, Bubba Kashaw.
Romans chapter 13, verse 11. And that, knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep.
Now is the time to awake out of sleep. Now is the time to wake up. You can't afford, first of all, it's 2023, correct? How can you still be fast asleep now? Knowing what we know, knowing who we dealing with. Like, I don't know about you, like, I'll be wondering if they watch the Sunday Olive. I don't know if they be watching. But I do. I watch everything. And it's in me. Come. With that being said, I'll walk on y'all, Barak. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua Barak Adah.
Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua Barak Thumb. Clap it up, Akim. Let's get it on. We're going to figure lower this a tad, all right? Try to get an eye level, all right? I'm going to take your questions in the room. We'll go into my topic tonight. What's my specific topic tonight? Tonight, I will give the breakdown specifically to members of the IUIC to help them in not getting shot anymore. The IUIC has been shot 7 times by their own confession out of their own mouths. 7 times in recent years, they've been shot at while they do their church street preachings on the street. Tonight, I will give them a class in specific, and hopefully it will aid them in not getting shot at anymore, all right? All you brothers in the UPK, you can learn it as well, so that when you see someone from the IUIC who's constantly being shot at, you also can help them, all right? That's my topic tonight. I think it needs to be lower just a taste, but I could be wrong. You can tell me. That's my topic, but of course I will answer all of your questions. Perfect, all right? You ready to rock? Do I have any questions in the room that I can answer today? Also, bonus topic, the 4th of July. We'll go into that as well, the 4th of July. We also can go back into the Supreme Court striking down affirmative action. I can explain to you what affirmative action is if you would like me to do that. We also can go into the Supreme Court this week legalizing stores and store owners discriminating. That was legalized today. It's been illegal for about 50 years. Discrimination has been illegal. Today, about a week ago, the Supreme Court made discrimination legal, just like it was 50 years ago, all right? We're going back to the days of no Negroes. This store, whites-only stores, whites-only water fountains. We're going back there again. And I've been waiting for someone to call Commanding General Yohana and tell him you were right. That never happens out. The UPK says a thing since 1969. That thing comes out to be right. And no one ever says you were right. We've been teaching you about integration, teaching you about this illusion of inclusion, teaching you about this illusion that these stores in your neighborhoods want you to shop in them. We've been teaching you to get that illusion out of your mind since 1969. Now, come to find out we were right, but where are you at? I'm waiting for someone to call in and text in and thank Commanding General Yohana tonight. Everyone understands. Also, the topic about the IUIC getting shot 7 times, like I said, I will give the breakdown to help them so that they don't get shot anymore. Commanding General Yohana will have the video evidence of why they get shot. He's going to bring it out tonight on his show. He is going to explain to you the reason that the IUIC has been shot 7 times. And it's irrefutable out of their own mouth. Everyone understands. But before I get into that, I'll take your questions. And also, let me see the Frederick Douglass thing we talked about. Put it up on the screen, all right? In the back.
I could have break down on Ecclesiasticus 25 and 22.
No problem.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 25, verse 22. A woman, if she maintain her husband, is full of anger, impudence, and much reproach.
A woman, if she switch this out. It's a little funny. I think somebody put their oil on that cup. That tastes like frankincense and myrrh. It's good to smell, not so good to eat. All right. So, but I appreciate you, the white warrior. Give him a hand. must think I need that directly in me. Okay, no sweat. Read it one more time.
Ecclesiastes 25 and 22. A woman, if she maintain her husband, is full of anger, impudence, and much reproach.
A woman, if she maintains her husband, she is full of anger, impudence. Impudence is like of disrespect or dishonor, right? And what else? And reproach, meaning she hates her husband. Now, when the Christians read this, what do the Christians think that maintaining her husband is? Who knows? Go ahead.
As far as financially?
Yeah, Christians believe that this is talking about giving him money, meaning any woman, I'm fine, warrior, who gives their husband money will hate her husband. That's what they teach in the Christian church out. And they wonder why they breed the kind of women that they breed in that church. They breed selfish, cruel women in the Christian church. Cruel women. This scripture is not talking about money. Also, you might want to talk to some of these prostitutes out here, because there are women that literally will go have sex with men simply to give a man his money, right? And they love to do it all the time, have been doing it since when? Since the Bible, they've been doing it, since biblical days. Some prostitute has been paying a whoremonger money. No, it's not. A woman doesn't hate you off if she has to give you money. If she gives you money, women are nurturers. Women love to provide for a man. They love it. They love to cook you food and to bring you gifts and to give you a beautiful home and a comfortable home. They love it. It's their nature. When I say them, I mean a good woman. Of course, because of the Christian church, you have some very selfish and evil women. But I'm talking about a woman who is, conquered her traumas, who's not full of scars from growing up in a Christian home and being molested by everybody on the choir. But a good woman, her nature is to take care of you. All right, no. Maintaining her husband, I'll show you with Alexa, all right? Alexa, what does the word maintain mean? Listen carefully.
The verb maintain is usually defined as to keep in existence or continuance, preserve, retain. For more,
To keep in existence. The direct definition for that word in the Bible is keep. That's keep. Like a housekeeper. What does a housekeeper do? A housekeeper maintains the house. You get my point. A zookeeper maintains the animals. When a woman has to keep you, she'll hate you. What does it mean to keep you? When a woman rules you, when she bosses you around, when she is your authority, when she makes your decisions, I'm sorry. Oh, of course. You want me to do it or you want to do it? It's up to you. When she makes your decisions and when she is your boss, that woman is going to hate you up. Women hate not being able to follow a man. Oh, some of them will tell you. Some of them will say, I can't stand having to be in charge. I hate that. I hate having to take the lead all the time. Let me tell you something a woman hates that she'll never tell you, but everybody knows. A woman hates to have to decide where we are going to eat tonight. They can't stand that out. You are going to get into a physical fight with her. If you ask her, what do you want to eat tonight? I don't know. What do you want to eat tonight? What do you want to eat tonight? Oh, let's have some chicken. I don't want no chicken. Let's have some spaghetti. I don't want. She's going to just say no to every suggestion that comes out of your mouth. But she doesn't want the burden of having to decide what we're eating tonight. If she's smart, she'll just eat what you tell her to eat. So now you as a man, you have to know, this woman, if I ask her what she wants to eat tonight, that's 3 hours of arguing right now. So instead, listen, we're going to eat pizza. Just eating pizza. Goodbye. Shut your mouth. You like pizza. You love pizza. You damn near have to just know what she likes to eat. And you just start to know. I bet I can look at her and tell she wants some spaghetti. You just start to determine it based on knowing her and realize what her menu is, what she likes to eat Thursdays and Mondays and the weekend, and her favorite food. And so then you just say, you want spaghetti. I know you want spaghetti. That is exactly what you want. Spaghetti with that cream all over it. That's what you like. We're eating it. And before you know it, she's eating it and she's licking the goddamn plate and she's happy because she did not have to decide. But if she has to decide, if you're one of those church husbands, if you're one of those IUIC men that chooses your Israelite group based on your wife, she chose the group for you. She told you to join. She chooses your God. Every time when the bill collectors call the house, what do? You hand her the phone. You don't pick up the phone when the bill collectors call. She's the mommy. She talks to the landlord. The landlord is arguing and the landlord wants his money. What do? Run and hide. And you let her talk to the landlord. She is going to hate you out because you are not leading her and she wants to be led. What does it mean for a woman to maintain her husband? To keep her husband, to lead her husband. Everybody understands. This is something women will just tell you. Your wife will probably tell you what I'm saying. They think this. All right. Anything else? Go ahead, in the back.
Also a breakdown on Philippians 4:7,
Mm-hmm.
where it says, which pass all understanding. Philippians chapter 4, verse 7.
Mm-hmm.
And the peace of God, which passeth all understanding, shall keep your hearts and minds through Yahushua.
You want that term?
Come.
Past all understanding, meaning it's the highest of understanding. The peace of God. What does that mean? The peace of God. Who knows? You know what the term peace means. You know, Salaki. You know what the term peace means, correct?
Come.
Peace, like tranquility, stability, right? The peace of God is. Let me give it to you in essence. I appreciate it, word. I think I might be done with this, but I'll take it for upstairs. Can I just hold this for upstairs if you don't mind? All right. The peace of God is this: when a man or a woman obeys the Lord, then the Most High is no longer against you. He no longer curses you. He is not your enemy anymore. And so now when you go to achieve a thing, he is with you and not against you. So many times in your life, you're trying to achieve a good thing, but the Most High God is against you. He won't let you go to college. Ask the people in Harvard University. You know, many of you young people don't know this. For 50 years, right? With all the black people that go to Harvard and the University of Penn and Yale and go there strictly because of affirmative action. If someone would ask them, how did you get in college? Did you get in here because of affirmative action? What would the black person say? Who knows? Huh? Oh, I wish. They would say, no, I got in here because of my own hard work. Black people hated to say that they got into college because of affirmative action. They were offended by it. And for years, they would just lie and say, I didn't get in here because of affirmative action. I got in here because I'm smart. I'll give you the perfect example, welfare. Now, no one wants to admit they're on welfare, but everybody wants welfare. Well, since if you say, are you on welfare? Hell no, I'm not on welfare. That's terrible. I'm not on welfare. What do you think is going to happen in a few years? Who wants to blow my mind with the answer? What's going to happen? If everyone hates welfare and everyone says, I'm not on welfare, I would never take welfare. I ain't taking no check. I ain't getting a check. If everyone hates and is embarrassed to be on welfare, then in a few years, they will cut welfare and get rid of it because there's no one that is a champion for it. Even the people who are getting welfare are ashamed to be on it. So before you know it, they'll get rid of welfare. And then the minute it's gone, they'll say, whoa, we need our welfare. Don't cut that off. Black people hated being recipients of affirmative action. And now it's gone. The Lord is against you even going to college, even with your intelligence. God is against everything you do. Can I prove it to you? It was real hot in here today, right? Raise your hand if you were in the heat today. Oh, it was hot. Oh, it was hot. Let me show you something. Alexa, is it hotter in historically black neighborhoods than in white neighborhoods?
In Philadelphia, it's 87 degrees Fahrenheit.
Alexa, stop. Alexa, is it hotter in black neighborhoods than in white neighborhoods?
In Philadelphia, it's 87 degrees.
Alexa, stop. Alexa, is the heat worse in historically black neighborhoods?
Right now in Philadelphia.
Someone put this in your phone. Alexa is not doing what she's supposed to do. Let me tell you, brothers, something. Alexa, stop. Black neighborhoods are hotter than white neighborhoods in the summer. They're hotter. It's a scientific fact. Everyone already knows it. You can Google it. Huntington Park, which is right here in Philadelphia, is 20 degrees hotter than other neighborhoods. 20 degrees. Read nice and loud, brother.
From EPA.gov, it says neighborhoods with higher numbers of black residents tended to have more intense heat effects than other areas.
Are you joking? Are you telling me that even the sun afflicts us more? How in the hell does the sun know? The sun somehow knows to be hotter on black people. It's a fact. It's not, ISUPK tough talk. It's a fact. If you live in a black neighborhood, in the summer, you are squelching with heat and burning up, and the white neighborhood is 20 degrees cooler. Look up Huntington Park, right here in Philadelphia, 20 degrees hotter. Brother, right here.
Sir, I've seen them report, same time reported said that it's like they purposely cut the trees down. The trees up with that. They
Brother.
cut the trees down the hood and keep it hot.
They wouldn't look that up. I remember as I was 7 or 8 years old, I remember when they came in and cut all the trees down. I remember that day going, well, damn, why are they doing this? Why are they cutting all the trees down? They cut all the trees down, the asphalt, the rubber on the tar on the roofs, and it makes a black neighborhood unlivable in the summertime. Officer in the back.
Right here, where we at is about 90 degrees, and Huntington Park is 75 degrees.
Where we at right now?
Where we at right now is 90.
Is 90 degrees. Jesus Christ. That's terrible.
Right.
And if you look historically, black neighborhoods are hotter. They're always hotter all the time. We're cursed in the summertime. We're cursed. And if you lived on a white block, you would just be more comfortable walking down the block. The climate would be more pleasant walking down the block. Yeah, brother, that's we need the Most High's peace. You understand? We need his peace. What does that mean? Meaning he's not against us, he's with us. He doesn't burn us up in the summertime. He doesn't destroy us with cold in the winter. He doesn't make sure that we lose our job. He doesn't make sure that we get kicked out of school and that we can't shop in restaurants. He's with us. That's the Most High's peace. And that's the greatest thing of all, to be at peace with the Most High God. You understand now, right? Go out and give Syracuse a hand in the house. Syracuse, Rock City. Where else the brother from? Here's Rock City right here. Give him a hand. I see you, Warrior. Buffalo, New York. Give him a hand. Get the brother on camera right here. He's from Rock City, New York. Where's Buffalo at?
This is Buffalo, sir.
That's Buffalo. I'm sorry. Buffalo, New York. Give him a hand. And Syracuse over here. Give him a hand too. Syracuse. All right. Good to go. All right. Good one. Give this young brother a hand. Where is he from? Syracuse. Give him a hand. All right. The brothers have questions. You can get them on camera, right? Okay. I answered that question, right? We're good to go here. Any other questions online? Once again, my topic tonight, I'm going to help the IUIC not get shot anymore. They've been shot. Not have what? Incidents of violence. Can I say the G word? Okay. Incidents of violence. The IUIC has had 7 incidents of violence in the last few years. My God, man. Can you imagine? There's not many people that have been shot at that have had incidents of violence 7 times. I mean, drug dealers probably, bank robbers, other sinners. They might go through a similar lifestyle, but you got to be a real criminal to have that much violence in your life. They don't have God's peace. Do you understand? The Most High God is not at peace with the IUIC. Later on, Commanding General Yohana is going to tell you why and give you proof on why God is against the IUIC. Okay, but tonight I'm going to give them the scriptures they need to not get shot anymore, to not have incidents of violence anymore. Everyone understands. All right. All right. Well, first I'll answer a few more questions. Any questions in the room? I'll answer them right now. Any questions online? I will answer them right now. Let me get one from online. All right.
Brother had a question online. He said, I have a question regarding the patriarch of the 12 tribes.
Mhm.
If a white man has used different word, abused his way into those 12 tribes,
Mhm.
as the patriarch seed would lose the offspring, would they still be considered Hebrew Israelites and are still allowed in the ISUPK?
No. No. Meaning, I believe he's saying if your father is a white man, if your father is a white man under any circumstance, whether it be abuse or consensual, you are not allowed in the UPK. That's it. Lord be with you. Listen, you're not allowed in the UPK, but you are allowed in the Senate, in the Congress. You're allowed in restaurants that will not allow me anymore. I hope you heard about that. You're allowed in Harvard. I'm not allowed in Harvard anymore. I'm not allowed in there. But you are allowed in there. If your father is white, my God, go to Disney World. Have you been there? You need to go there and do that surfing. Have you been surfing? You need to go surfing. Have you been to Waikiki, Honolulu? Honolulu is looking for you. Harvard wants you in there. You see, people go to the Supreme Court to make sure I don't go to a place. They take a case to the Supreme Court strictly to make sure that they don't see me when they go to school, when they go shopping. So yeah, you cannot come into the UPK, but you can go to Harvard. So it's a fair trade-off. Anything else? Any other questions?
No,
All right. In the room.
where did the name ISUPK come from?
The original brothers that started the school picked the name. They picked the name a long time before I ever heard of the truth, and back 69, before I was born. Back in 1969, they chose the name the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Everybody understands. Whenever you hear the term universal, that indicates a very old place. Universal at one time meant black, right? Just like the Universal Circus, right? Or the UNIA, the Universal Nation of blah, blah, blah. That was Marcus Garvey's organization, right? The term universal is what people used back in the 30s, to mean black, to mean Latino. It just meant it wasn't just for white people, because everything else was for white people. So it meant this thing was for non-white people, the term universal, all right? Practical, of course, indicates our adherence to not be religious, but to having a lifestyle that you can apply in your everyday, as opposed to ceremony and religious nonsense like the Catholic Church teaches to this day. The UPK is practical, meaning you can take this and use this in your everyday life, which is what the commandments of God are for. Knowledge, of course, is evident. It's something that you learn. Everyone understands, but they did it back in 1969, and we, of course, continued it today. Everyone understands. Anything else? Go ahead, please. Up front, you right here. Please.
So when Christ come back and the angels come back, will they be on the earth with us? Will they be over us? Will we be over them?
No sweat. When Christ comes back and the angels will be back, there's going to be a great war in heaven where the angels are going to physically fight our oppressor with weapons, physically fight him. The Bible says that they will lay their beams upon the waters. A laser beam. Laser beams are going to destroy our adversary and his weapons. And then they're going to be forced to turn their weapons of wars into plowshares, into equipment that you use to farm. That's in the Bible. So first, the great war that will be fought by angels. Angels fighting our oppressor. After that, those same angels take up the elect into those chariots. The Bible says, "Hide here ye in this chamber." The very elect, the people who are chosen to live after Judgment Day, will be taken up into the chariot while they're in the sky, their bodies will change in the blink of an eye. They'll change. Then they'll get up into those chariots. They'll go into their rooms, their chambers, while the angels destroy our adversary, wipe out his ability to ever fight again. But he'll still be here. So imagine the U.S. military, the British military, the Iraqi military, the Russian military being destroyed 90%. That still will leave 10%, people with AK-47s and AR-15s and rockets that think that they can hold on to their former country. After we're taken up into the chariots, and after 90%, so to speak, of the military is destroyed, then that elect is put down back again on the earth. And there they are trained. The Most High said he will plead with them. So then we get trained in the wilderness. So the wilderness, the Bible does not tell us exactly where it is, but it's a wilderness, meaning it's a place where people don't live. So there are many wildernesses. I'll give you a few. The rainforest out there in Brazil. It's a place where there are no people. Are there any rainforest? Are there any wildernesses in America? Maybe out there in the desert, in Cheyenne Desert out there, where the Grand Canyon is. That's a kind of a desert, meaning there's no cities, no towns, nothing but animals. That's a wilderness. The Most High said he's going to put the elect back, take them off the chariots, put them back down on the planet, and in that wilderness, they're trained. Who are they trained by? The men who stood so stiffly for Christ upon the earth. The men who already knew the truth, who already have been trained, who got taken up in those chariots first. Then they trained the great multitude of people who did not do what those priests did. Those sacerdotes and those oficiales, those priests and officers. They didn't do it. They were taken up into the chariots because they were kind to the priest. They helped the priest. Well, they're going to have to be trained because they know nothing about the kind of lifestyle that you and I have lived. They're trained in the wilderness. Where are the angels? Not with us. When I say not with us, meaning not standing there teaching us. They're doing an angel's job, which is a supernatural job. There, we're being trained. So if you want to understand it, think of the Israelites when they left out of Egypt, right? The angels of the Most High God destroyed the firstborn of every Egyptian, thereby facilitating our release from Egypt. And then when we were out in Egypt, the angels formed a fiery pillar that guided us in the nighttime so we could know where to go, what direction to walk in. We followed that fiery whirlwind or fiery tornado. But we had to govern ourselves. We had to fight for ourselves, and we had to train ourselves. We had to find our own food. You're going to learn, brother, that the kind of spirit that we trained you to have in the UPK, you are going to need that now, and you are especially going to need it if you want to live when Christ returns out.
Right.
When Christ returns, your weed man won't be there. You can't get through a day without smoking weed because you're too stressed. You're stressed with air conditioning and a roof over your head and food. How are you going to feel when Christ returns and this world is in rubble? And we got to just find something to eat. Pray that the Most High God sends a flock of quail for us to eat. How stressed will you be then? You couldn't handle the COVID-19 virus. I saw you. Listen, the white man said wear a mask. He might as well have told you, brothers, to stick your head in the toilet and breathe. You could not wear that mask. It was too stressful for you. You couldn't stay home. Which blew my mind. You have to go out. What is out there that you need? You couldn't stay home. People brought food to your damn house. You were too stressed out. You couldn't handle it. It was just too stressful for you. You have to get high every day. Well, you're not ready for Christ to return. You're not ready. You die.
I was gonna say, so you're saying it's so heavy because they paid us to stay home.
Brother, they gave you a stimulus check. Speaking of which, I saw not one penny of a stimulus check. None. You know why? Who can guess why? Raise their hand. Because I got 4 wives out, and I don't even know. I'm still waiting to see when this stimulus money is coming in. I heard about it on the news. I remember hearing on the news like, I'm supposed to be getting a check or something soon, right? Hey, baby, where's the money at? White man's the devil. I mean, white man is the devil, clearly. I have still never seen not one check at all. Not nothing. But once again, I can handle that kind of stress. All right? I just roll with the punches on. No problem. Life is about some form of stress. That's a small bit of stress. Having 4 women taking every goddamn penny you have every minute of the day, I'm moving on. All right? That's a small amount of stress. If you can't handle the stress of today, you're not ready for the wilderness. You better start training. If you don't train, then we'll have to train you then. All right, that's what's going to happen. So the angels will help us. They'll be there to facilitate the supernatural things that we need done, but the hard work that has to be done with men's hands, you're going to have to do yourself out. You understand? All right. Anything else? Because today is the 4th of July. Am I right? Tomorrow was the 4th of July. Oh, there was big controversy, 2 days ago? Because the Supreme Court outlawed affirmative action. Does everyone in here know what affirmative action is? I'll explain. Affirmative action only applies to the most top universities in America, right? Harvard, Yale, the University of North Carolina. Affirmative action was already outlawed by 13 states already, right? And so it was obvious that the entire federal government was going to outlaw it. I'll explain what it is. When you get admitted into a college, right? The college has things that they can look at to determine admittance. They'll look at, number one, your grades. They'll look at your community service. They'll look at, things that you've done in your lifestyle, your socioeconomic status. The number one thing they look at is legacy. The number one thing they look at is, did your father or mother go to this college, or did your father or mother donate money to this college? 70% of the white people that go to Harvard are there because their father or mothers went there. That's 70% of them are. So they can look at a lot of different factors, and it's legal. It's legal for them to say, well, your father went here, so we're letting you in, even though your grades are not as good as this person who has the same grades as you, but their father did not go to Harvard. So colleges have a wide array of things that they can look at to decide what students will they admit. One of the things that they were allowed to consider is race. They were allowed to consider that because Lyndon Johnson, I think in 1965, passed a law saying that if a person was Black or Latino, you could let that be a factor in admitting them into private universities. So since then, colleges, the richest colleges have said, okay, they both we got a white man and a black man. They both have the same grades. They both make the same money, but this one is Black. So that can be a factor that will let us say we'll let him in. That's affirmative action, meaning they considered slavery and oppression in the Jim Crow South to be negative, to be a negative action. So they decided to kind of balance it out with a good action, an affirmative action. So now, the same way colleges did not let you in because of your race since the 1800s, which is why we had HBCUs. So many people think you had Black colleges because Black people just love to go to Black college. You had Black colleges because you were not allowed to go to white colleges. So white men paid money to give you your own college so that you could go there because they did not want you in Harvard. Since white schools did not let you in, now those white schools are going to give you preferential admittance. That's what affirmative action is. Everyone understands, right? Okay, one second. Let me check this out. Clearly it's an emergency. Hold on. Stand by, okay. Okay, so everybody gets that, right? Well, this week, affirmative action was struck down everywhere in America, meaning they cannot let you in or make your race a factor at all in letting you in. Why did this happen? Because the Asian community, stop Asian hate, y'all. Asian hate, that's the problem with America. Asians are never getting enough love, ever. The Asian community said that Harvard was changing the SAT and making it easier, making it culturally unbiased. Because, of course, black high schools are not on the level as white schools and Asian schools in America. So they changed the SAT, which meant that more black people could pass the SAT. And an Asian group sued Harvard because Harvard, there's so many Asians in Harvard, forget about it. And they said, wait a minute, while you're making it more easier for black people to get in Harvard, that's taking away our right to get in Harvard because we're the ones getting the highest grades on the SATs. Everyone understands. So this Asian group went and sued Harvard and they won in the Supreme Court. Because they won, you can't, if you're trying to get into Harvard, you can't get in there anymore. And virtually everyone that ever went to Harvard that's black went there because of affirmative action. Everyone understands, including Barack Obama, who got into Harvard because of affirmative action. Everyone. There would be no one in Harvard who's black if not for affirmative action. And Harvard is about 6% black. That's it. That is a fact. It's 6% black. And if not for affirmative action, it would be 0% black. Everybody gets it. That's affirmative action. That got thrown out today, Syracuse.
Also,
Please.
Clarence Thomas voted against
Yeah, here we go.
He went to Yale University.
Yeah. Clarence Thomas said that the only way he got into Yale is because of affirmative action. He is the main vote canceling affirmative action, and he's black. Why? Because affirmative action breeds traitors. That's all it ever did. Us pushing our way into white society bred children who were desperate to be in white society. And they were ashamed that they got into Yale with affirmative action. They were ashamed of it. Just like you're ashamed of being on welfare. They were ashamed. They wanted to get rid of affirmative action because they were ashamed that they ever got into that school based on affirmative action. That's what happened this week. What else happened? About 2 years ago, there was a white woman who made cake. She was a baker. And a gay, can I say gay? A LGBT person, an alternative lifestyle, came into their house, into their store and said, can you make us an alternative cake? Put alternatives all over the cake. The baker said, no, I don't want to make you an alternative cake. They sued her. They took the case all the way to the Supreme Court, and this baker won. She didn't have to make this cake. Why? Because they determined it was freedom of speech. And freedom of speech is sacrosanct in American society, meaning it's one of the most holy rights, that you don't have to say something that you don't want to say. So if I don't want to make a cake promoting alternatives, someone forcing me to do it is taking away my freedom of speech. Everybody gets the premise, right? That happened about 2 years ago. Now, because of that, another woman who runs a website business, she makes websites. She just heard about that case and said, well, wait a minute, I run a website business. What if someone wants to ask me to make an alternative website? Am I going to have to? She went to the court and asked for permission not to make a site that no one ever asked her to make. It never happened. Just so you know, the only way that any case gets in front of the Supreme Court is if some group has millions of dollars to get it there. So all of these cases are being funded by Republicans or Democrats who will put millions of dollars into this to act like this is one woman making a website when really it's the Republican Party funding her and pushing this case through the court. She went to the court. She didn't even have a case, but she just went to the court. And that's the case that they judged on. They told her she didn't have to make a website for alternative people, even though no one ever asked her to. No alternative person ever even asked her to make a website. Why? Because all of these cases are test cases. You should look that up when you go home. A Supreme Court test case. This is how women got the right to vote. This is how women got rights that men used to have. The Supreme Court takes a case And based on that verdict, other verdicts stand. It's called precedence. And for instance, women have the right to vote now, women have right in the workplace. That happened because, what's the woman's name who was the woman in the Supreme Court? The little woman with glasses. Ginsburg. Ginsburg was a lawyer, and she went and fought for a white man's right to stay at home and be a stay-at-home dad. She fought for his right. It was a man. And the court affirmed that this man can stay home and take care of kids just like a woman. She did that as a test case, because then what did that mean? A woman was able to go to work and not take care of her kids because she fought for that man's right to stay home and take care of his kids, which led to the women's rights movement of America. Because if you're going to give a man the rights to stay home and take care of kids, then you have to give a woman the right to go to work and not take care of her kids. And she was brilliant. And because of her, you have women's rights in America, and no population has profited more from the civil rights movement than white women because of test cases. So now this week, gay people, alternative lifestyle people, lost these two cases. These cases are test cases for blacks and Hispanics. That's what these cases are about. That's how the court works. Someone pushes through something that will mean when I go to push through the next thing, you have to say yes. What's the next thing? They are going to get rid of the right. They're going to stop it for it to be illegal for a store owner to bar you from a restaurant because of your color of your skin or your race. Why? Because it's against freedom of speech. It's against their right to express themselves. They believe that God doesn't believe that black people should eat in their restaurant. The races should be separate. And because of that, they're going to be able to keep you out of Walmart, to keep you out of restaurants. All they have to say is, it's my freedom of speech. I don't believe in it. And my religious belief means that black people should not be mixing with white people. These two cases mean that it's going to work. It is going to happen. It's impossible for it not to work. All they're waiting for is the case to come up, for someone to put a sign on the door saying, I'm against the mixing of the races because of Deuteronomy 7:3, which says they're not supposed to mix. They're going to put that sign out. They'll get sued. It'll go to the Supreme Court. And guess what? You will be forced to do what God wants you to do anyway, to stay with your own people. Well, with all of the fighting that you did, with these court cases happening, then the 4th of July came today. And you still barbecued. You still did it. You still had to have ribs and hamburgers. You still did it. And I would love to talk to some black person who was upset about the Supreme Court's verdict and still celebrated the 4th of July. If you brothers, you go out in the street, you talk to them. Ask people, were you upset about the Supreme Court's verdict? Yes, I was. Was it racist? Yes. Is it another case in the long line of racist cases and racist treatment by black people? Yes. Did you celebrate the 4th of July? Baby will say what? Babbity? They'll say yes. And then you go, well, if you were so angry about these cases, why did you still celebrate the 4th of July? Take that on the street with you this week, all right? Ask people that question. Also ask them this one. I'll give you this one as a bonus. Do you believe in a woman's right to choose? Yes. Do you believe that baby, that if the woman doesn't want to have a baby, she should not have to have a baby because the baby is hers? Yes. No problem. Do you believe that in a man's right not to pay child support? How about it? Whoa. Swabbity swab wap. Wait, no, he should take care of his kids. But if doesn't he have the right to choose not to take care of his kids? Isn't it his money? Do that. Take that out in the street this week, all right? Help yourself out and make good videos with that. If you still celebrated the 4th of July, then people can just however they feel like treating you. It really doesn't matter. You don't believe me? Let me show you one of your racial black icons, Frederick Douglass. Give me this right here. This, I can't even see this. This is Frederick Douglass did his speech about the 4th of July. He did this in the 1800s. In the 1800s, they asked Frederick Douglass, will you celebrate the 4th of July? He wrote a speech about why should a black person celebrate the 4th of July. You don't have it here, Ron? You having problems?
But I have it on my phone, so I can read it. They can see it online.
Go ahead. Play it. I mean, read it, please.
Colonel McCon, sir. Colonel McCon. The meaning of the 4th of July for the Negro. During the 1850s, Frederick Douglass typically spent about 6 months.
I read that already. I explained that to you already. Just skip me down to the actual thing he said, the poem or the speech.
Colonel McCon. What to the American slave is your 4th of July? I answer a day that reveals to him more than all other days in the year the gross injustice and cruelty to which the constant victim.
He said this during the time of slavery. He said, what other day best shows him that he is being treated terribly in America? The 4th of July is the day that reveals the most about how cruel he's being treated, because it's white people celebrating liberty and freedom while they oppress someone else. No other holiday crystallizes the difference between blacks and Latinos and white people other than the 4th of July. It's white people celebrating breaking off the yoke of oppression from the British Empire. The French sent the Statue of Liberty to America. It said, give me your poor, your huddled masses, your souls seeking to be free. Bring your teeming masses to my shores, and I will comfort them. And then on the bottom of the Statue of Liberty, there's a broken chain on her foot because she's been broken out of bondage from the British. At the same time, they don't want you to eat in a restaurant. They don't want you to go to school. Read it again.
Colonel McCon. What to the American slave is your 4th of July? I answer a day that reveals to him more than all other days in the year the gross injustice and cruelty to which he is the constant victim.
Keep reading.
Colonel McCon. To him, your celebration is a sham. Your boasted liberty.
That's what he said. He said to the slave, your celebration of the 4th of July is a sham. It's a boasted liberty. You're boasting how free you are, shoving it in our face how free you are, shoving it in our face every year. If you're black and you ate a hot dog today, and you lit fireworks, you did that? Maybe it worked. Maybe you can celebrate another man's freedom because you have no desire to be free yourself. Maybe you're able to do that. Frederick Douglass, he wasn't. He's your hero, right? He wasn't able to do that. Continue.
Colonel McCon, sir. An unholy license, your national greatness, swelling vanity.
Swelling vanity. That's what he called the 4th of July. Frederick Douglass, who was free. He was free. He wasn't a slave. But he remembered that his brothers were. And here you are today. You're not a slave. And you don't care that your brothers were. He did. And he said it was swelling vanity. Continue.
Colonel McCon. Your sounds of rejoicing are empty.
All of the fireworks and the screaming and the celebration. He said the sound of your rejoicing is empty. That's what he said. It's empty. Continue.
Colonel McCon. And heartless.
And what?
Heartless.
And what?
Heartless.
Celebrating the 4th of July is heartless, huh? It's cruel. Because you know what happened this week with the affirmative action and with a white store owner's right to discriminate. You know what happened. You know what that means. Let me tell you something about America, brother, and listen to this very closely. America is the greatest country on earth, and people come from all over the world to live in America. Millions of Irish people came here in the early 1920s, 1910. Millions of people from Italy came here in 1929. Right now, people are coming here from everywhere on the planet. The only reason that America accepts immigrants is because of the rights that Black people fought for in America. That is it. If you think America is great, if you think America is the place is the home of opportunity, Black people fought and died for that opportunity. America would not be a great place if Black people didn't fight. Because we fought, the Chinese get to come here and open up restaurants. The Vietnamese, the Arabs, the Iranians, the Ukrainians, the Africans, the Italians, the Irish. Everyone had the right to come here because of our court cases. Because we fought for liberty to be available in America for someone who was not white. So now everyone else gets to get on ships and come and see the Statue of Liberty and celebrate the 4th of July. Everyone else. But America would be like Russia if not for Black people. This would be Russia. It'd be a cold, inhospitable place to strangers. But because we're here, and people like Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey and civil rights leaders fought and fought and fought and went to court and fought, now they can accept all the Ukrainians. Now all the people from China can say, you have to give us a business because you can't, what in America? Discriminate. You can't discriminate. We fought for that and we didn't benefit from it. We got nothing from all of the fighting and marching that we did, but white women did. The Ukrainians did. The Chinese, the Japanese. Let me crush a myth in your brain. All of the Chinese are not smart. Get rid of that in your stupid head. Who do you think is eating dog over there? Geniuses? In your mind, you think that a Chinese person is smart. Well, who is in the rice fields in China? Barefoot and dirty. Who's eating dog in the Wuhan province, eating dog and bat? Computer science majors? No. You think Chinese people are smart because the only Chinese people America lets to come in here are the smartest of the Chinese. The ones eating dog and living in a rice bog over there don't get to come over here because they don't have any money. So all of the regular Chinese people are in China eating bats in the Wuhan province, eating dog. But the rich upper class comes to America. So because of that, you in your mind think some Chinese person is a mad genius simply because he's Chinese. All of his cousins are in China eating dogs. And they're not math geniuses. But America will only let the upper class of the Chinese come to America, the upper class of the Japanese, the upper class of the Vietnamese, and they all come here. And now we're sitting here subservient to them when they're here because of rights that we fought to establish, that we made possible. And yet, here we are, getting shot on Juneteenth, living in the projects, and we can't even now, you can't even go to a store anymore. Frederick Douglass said, I'm sorry, I'm done. God damn it. It's a lot. I really didn't say anything. I'm sorry. I guess I did. I'm sorry. I tried not to.
You insulted the computer
The computer science remark, that was the one that did it. I still like it. I jammed you like for a week. Oh, do it on my phone next time. I don't want to jam your phone up. My apologies. All right. God damn it. They won't let you appeal. It was terrible. I don't know what to do. I'm trying. I'm going to keep trying. It was about the Moabites, probably, though. I think Moabites don't they run TikTok? That did it. There you go. That's it. I didn't even put that together, but there you go. Let's play with, I got to get to my IUIC topic. Let's play what Frederick Douglass said one more time.
Concert from the top.
No, from where you were.
Oh, Common Concert. Common Con. Your denunciation of tyrants, brass-fronted impudence.
You hear that? They denounce tyrants like King George over there in England. They denounce tyrants, but it's brass-fronted ignorance because they are our tyrants. They're our slave masters. But they denounce the slave masters in Great Britain, and they thought of themselves as slaves. Rich white people in America, they said, give me liberty or give me death. They thought that the British had bondage on them. They thought they were slaves. They felt like slaves because they had to pay taxes. Meanwhile, they were beating your back. Continue.
Your shout of liberty and equality, hollow mockery.
Keep going.
Your prayers and hymns, your sermons and thanksgivings, with all your religious parade and solemnity.
Solemnity means the songs. Now, this is Frederick Douglass cutting you Christians because he's saying, read that again from that part.
With all your religious parade and solemnity are to him mere bombast, fraud.
He thought that all of the religious people who were acting like they love God and God bless America and God shine on our achievements. Meanwhile, you have people in slavery. He thought it was bombast, meaning just boast, just an arrogant boast, because you're praising God and in church. Now, you go to church, black people. You are in church praising God and blessing America while you are the people of Frederick Douglass. He didn't do that. That's not what he thought. He didn't think like that. And you praise him, but why don't you think like him? Continue.
Deception, impiety, and hypocrisy.
Deception, impiety, and hypocrisy. That's what he said about the 4th of July. Now, what did you do today? How many fireworks did you set off? Hey, text in if you celebrated the 4th of July. It's anonymous. It's in the chat. No one will know it's you. Just text into the chat and say if you went out, you did it for the kids, I'm sure. It's no big deal. It was for the kids. Come on. Oh, damn. It's tomorrow. So text in if you already soaking chicken wings tonight. If you got a tub of chicken wings somewhere soaking. If you got pork ribs somewhere sitting in a Lowry seasoning salt, waiting for tomorrow, just text in. Text in, all right? And let's just discuss how you could do a thing so evil, so cruel. That takes me right into the IUIC. What time is it? 8:15. Let's go into the IUIC. Cover that right now. All right. If you don't mind. I spoke about that. Anyone who celebrates the 4th of July is cruel. That's cruel. You're sacrificing the suffering of others for your own pleasure. That's what you're doing. Frederick Douglass didn't do that. He was in Washington, D.C. He was meeting with Abraham Lincoln. He was meeting with the president. He had no reason to care about what black people were doing in the South. You're sitting here today, hundreds of years after this, or not hundreds of years, Salakia, 100 years after this, you have no reason to care about what happened to your brothers and sisters that lived in slavery, that lived in physical bondage, and yet your people today are in bondage, and you don't care. You celebrate the 4th of July. You're cruel. You're cruel. You don't have a place in your heart for compassion for other people. All you care about is the fact that you can go and put pork in your stinking gut. That is it. And as long as someone can give you pork to fill up your gut, you will forget slavery, forget the oppression of your grandmother and your grandfather. You'll forget the Supreme Court case that happened 2 days ago. You'll forget it. That legalized discrimination in businesses. You'll forget that because all you care about is your own decadence, is your own pleasure. You're cruel. Who else is cruel? The IUIC. They're cruel. That's an absolutely cruel group of people. Let me explain to you the topic tonight. The IUIC, those are the purple pigs, or they wear purple all the time. If you know what I'm talking about, sister, you might not know, but they wear a ton of purple. But it'll hurt your eyes, the amount of purple that they have to wear. Kids in purple, women in purple, purple book, purple everything, purple car, purple everything, purple. It'll hurt your retina. It's so much purple, right? And so come to this week in Kansas City, Missouri, one of their members was shot. He got shot in Kansas City, Missouri. That's where he got shot this week, in KC. This week, they got shot. It was all over the internet. Play the video of the cat on the internet. Do we have that video? Some Jake in the world. He's talking about the shooting. Do you brothers know what I'm talking about? Or this is totally foreign to everybody. You don't know what I'm talking about. God damn. Well, let me explain it to you a bunch. Can we play it? Whatever. Even that's heavy. Yediah just said, are we sure that it's true? That everyone called me this week and said, are we sure that it's true? Do you know what that means? The IUIC are such snakes. A lot of you think that this is just a trick from them. Brother, do you know you're making my point for me? This could be just a trick. Because they are that duplicitous. They are that sneaky and full of guile that a lot of you who know about it did not talk about it because you thought maybe it's just another IUIC purple trick. Nicholas, I'm talking about it all the time. And if it's a trick, I'm going to talk about it worse. I'm going to talk about it. This is how much I'm going to talk about the IUIC getting shot. I'm going to talk about them getting shot until you go down to the West Coast down there in California, right? And you go on the beach and you pick up a seashell and you put your ear to it and the seashell says the IUIC got shot in Kansas City. I'm going to talk about this until I talk about it so much that the air is only made of it. That the only thing that is in the air is that the IUIC got shot. When you breathe, you will breathe in the IUIC got shot, because that is how much I'm going to fill the air with it. And in the end, if this was some trick by the IUIC, it proves my point. That's why you get shot, because you do things like that. Because who in the hell would fake getting shot? Who does that? And brother, listen, like 5 people said, are we sure this is not a trick? Damn, that's them. That's your men of God. Your men of God are as a group that when they get shot, everybody says, maybe it's a trick. That's your men of God. Listen, I'm going to talk about it so much, y'all. You're going to put an umbrella up because it's going to rain. The IUIC got shot. And if you don't put an umbrella up, you're going to get soaking wet with the IUIC got shot. Does everyone understand? So anyway, the IUIC got shot this weekend in Kansas City. There's a whole video up on YouTube. You brothers can share it if you would like to share it. You can fall into the plot, the trick of IUIC if you want. Go ahead. Anyway, they got shot. They did a class this week that the brothers told me about where they confessed that they got shot 7 times. 7 times. Officer Yediah sent it to me. Matter of fact, hold on. Let me give it to you, the damn video. You have it?
I have a video.
Of them putting the reward out? The reward?
Oh, nah, sir. I have a video of them shooting. Like, I have a few videos.
Yeah, play that one. Play that. And let me give you the one where Abadja sent me, where they're confessing that they're putting a reward out for the shooter. Here it is right here. Hold on. I'm going to give it to you right now, Abadja. I mean, you die. Yediah, that's you? You got it right now. So anyway, So now this look at this. Play this right.
This was,
God damn.
3. The ox knoweth his owner. The ox. 3. The ox knoweth his owner. The ox is an animal. He know his owner. 3.
that was last year.
That happened a year ago.
Oh,
There was another one 2 weeks ago. They went on a class and said, this is the 7th one that they've had. 7. That's how much they're getting shot. They walk outside, they duck it. I'm going to help the IUIC tonight, all right? Let me try to explain. Well, play one more so I can get this thing. The one I just sent you.
okay.
Play that one about the thing, and then I'll get into my breakdown. Right? I'll give you the
Ox is
precept.
an animal. He know his owner.
Give him a second, all right? Am I missing any questions in the room? You can hold my precepts for me. I'll give you these while I'm waiting for your die, all right? We're going to need Babade Blam Blam. We're going to need Ecclesiasticus 4 and 7. Hold that. And then we're also going to need Deuteronomy 32 and 35. Hebrews 10 and 30, Romans 12 and 19, Proverbs 24 and 29. I hope you heard all of that. Write that down because I will not remember it in 10 seconds. All right? Those are the precepts we're going to go through for the scripture breakdown. A bun.
Said Romans what, sir?
12 and something. Romans 12 and 17.
Gotcha.
I think we're going to go down, up and down with a few of these, all right? After I believe this is all the video proof we need. Commander General Yana has terrible video. Oh my God. I mean, he has video of the IUIC saying why they get shot. It's terrible video. Make sure to tune in directly after this class.
Know his owner. He know his owner. 3. The ox knoweth his owner. The ox is an animal. He know his owner. 3. The ox knoweth his owner. The ox is an animal. 3. The ox.
Were you having problems, Doc? 1 second, you're tired. You having problems?
Oh, no, I was just playing.
You,
so
did they say they didn't
online.
see it?
Yeah, they didn't see it online.
Okay, go ahead. Let me know when you can play the next one. In the back, go ahead.
So they say why he got shot.
No, they don't say why he got shot. They just know every time they pull out that sexy Jesus, it gets lit up. He hit that thing up. That thing he got holes all down the cleavage line. Getting shot in the breast, shot left breast, right breast. Go ahead, play the last video. Captain.
Slack you, sir. When I first heard it, it just reminded me of the cricket cop.
Yeah.
Alonzo from Training Day.
He gonna put cases. He gonna put cases on all you mother effers.
He reached for the bag of the money.
And they
He
shot
shot me in my ass.
shot me in my ass. Like Alonzo from Training Day. He gonna put cases on all of you mother effers. Oh Lord, listen. I laugh. I joke about the IUIC. They got a good sense of humor over there. I just joke about them. They don't mean nothing by it. I'm just making a joke, right? But actually and truly, I don't want anything to happen to them because they're Black and Latino men.
Right.
And I don't want them to be shot. I don't want them to be harmed. But like so many other sinners, your lifestyle is endangering your life. It's your lifestyle. And tonight I'm going to try to teach you, but more importantly, I have to teach the people who want to shoot you. That's who I have to teach tonight. I'm going to teach those people tonight. Commander General Yohana will explain to them why they're being taught. I'm going to attempt to teach the IUIC what they're doing and why their behavior, their sinful lifestyle, is aiding in their own demise, in them getting shot. But most importantly, I have to teach the people that want to shoot the IUIC. I got to teach them tonight. I need to hurry up, brother. We have a terrible technical time. That video I sent you, can you just put that up on the screen if you can? Go ahead, please. I didn't give it to you just now on Messenger. I sent it to you on Messenger. Come on, in the back.
So, sir, if you could briefly summarize the specific incident in Kansas City, Missouri, I find it highly ironic.
Yeah, I found it highly ironic too. Anyway, this video I believe is in Kansas City. I'm not sure. But in Kansas City 2 weeks ago, there was some fake Israelite, internet man who made a video saying that the IUIC got shot today. One of their members got shot in the hip and in the leg. And he went on and on to say they're getting shot because they shouldn't be out on the street. They're getting shot. He's a fake Israelite. He's half a coon, loves Edomites, and is a Christian, really. So he's trying to give Christian reasons why they got shot. Then he goes outside. Some woman comes in the store and says, yeah, they got shot. And she hates the IUIC. Then the camera goes outside, and you can see the police cars, and you can see that purple burning your eyes in the midnight. And then, of course, brothers in the school, who heard about this before I said it? Raise your hand. Brothers didn't even hear about it. I'll tell you why. Because the UPK brothers weren't even sure if it was a plot from the IUIC. So they didn't even say anything about it. Because the IUIC is so sneaky that they might just fake a shooting. Just so they can say later, that didn't even happen. I could care less about any of that. I don't even give a damn about any of that. Well, anyway, yesterday, the IUIC made a video asking for information to lead to the arrest of the shooter. You died. No go yet. I sent it to you on Messenger. Solid. And this is the video we'll play, and then I'll give you the breakdown, all right?
And it's just another day at the office, And the angels are with you, and, this is a part of doing the work that we do.
This is the video I sent you out.
So we're going to keep you in prayer.
Don't seem like it.
And most likely,
This is him talking about the bounty.
I need the video I sent you. Do you have it?
I do not have it. You sent it to me. What's that?
I sent it to maybe that's not you on. I'm just gonna hand it to you. This is Messenger right there. It just goes straight to the point. That's you on. Just find yourself on Messenger. You can play this one while we're waiting.
Okay. Yep. We're good now, so we're on.
Go ahead. Play this one while we're waiting, and then get that one up. Or unless you can do it, the one I sent you now.
Well, I can do it now, sir.
Go ahead.
I understand.
Any questions online? If not, I'll wait. Do the video first, Doc. Select it. You're dying.
On count. Playing it right now.
No sweat.
See, with this one, sir, so
No, forget it. Take too long. You can watch this. Post these videos. That's him talking to one of the cats who was at the shooting. It's that's another day at the office. They get shot all the time. It's just part of being in the IUIC, getting shot. Wearing purple and getting shot. All right. So he's talking to him, and then I'll play the video that I sent you, Dyer, where they speak about the reward. All right. Is anyone else that can read the chat room online from your phone? Let me know if there's any questions I need to answer, all right? I probably won't have time after this.
Some of the comments did mention that it's true.
I saw it on the
Maybe I
news
see
here.
it
I'm from
today.
Kansas City. So in the chat.
There you go. Go ahead, play it, please.
People like to talk, Negroes like to talk, niggas is gossiping. Y'all can make a quick 10 G's. You know what? Y'all can make a quick 10 G's. You know what? Because I would add an extra $1,000 of my money. This show right here will add an extra 1,000 and bring it to 11.
That's a deacon or bishop or something, ASAP. I've learned his name. He hates this cat in the IUIC named Kanai. And he hates Kanai. His name is ASAP, and you go do the research, he can't stand Kanai. They're in the same group together. And they clearly hate each other. And there's a whole story about how they came against each other and argued with each other online. That's ASAP. He hates Kanai. This is him offering $11,000. $10,000, he's going to add one more thousand of his own money to find the shooter. Keep playing.
Okay? That's how much we love our brother. You're not going to take our lives for garbage. Okay? So it says 10, but I will put an extra 1,000 of my own money for anybody who knows, who heard something that could bring forth the arrest and conviction of these cowards. So it's not 10. I'll put $1,000 of my own money in, just so that these cowards could be brought to justice. That's the phone number. If anybody is in the area seeing this, please spread it so that it could be known.
That's terrible. Listen, we
Don't
can't.
ask me.
Go ahead, please keep playing.
Okay.
Come on, I
10
got
times for the phone number. We're gonna leave it up there. It's a $10,000 reward for anyone that can give us information to an arrest and conviction of these cowards. And I will put $1,000 of my own money, bringing it to 11.
Any more?
Okay, you're not just gonna
I'm fine with it. Is it more? Just keep playing. Let me see if it's more. I don't know what's on
do
the
whatever y'all want to our brothers, and we just sit back and let it happen.
Oh, ASAP. Listen, I kid ASAP. That's enough. I kid ASAP. I'm making a few jokes about ASAP. I kid the IUIC because they're so funny. But that's it. But let me tell you, I don't want these brothers to be murdered and killed. And Commanding General Yohana doesn't teach us to be like that. But of course, my hope for them not to die is meaningless if I don't teach them how not to get shot. So give me Ecclesiasticus first. All right, where did I ask for that in Ecclesiasticus? Instead of 4 and 7, we're going to start up Ecclesiasticus 4 and 2. Listen, this is for the IUIC. Then I'll teach the people who want to shoot you. But for now, I'm going to teach the IUIC for these 4 precepts. Nice and loud. IUIC members in the chat room, listen carefully. If you don't want to get shot, if you don't want them to offer $12,000 for your shooting, for whoever shot you, listen very carefully. Go ahead.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 4.
I'm sorry, let where you from again now? Buffalo. Let Buffalo read again. Go ahead. Get Buffalo on camera.
God, this is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 4, verse 7.
A little bit. 2, I'm sorry. Yeah, please. There you go, warrior. Go ahead.
4 and 2, sorry.
Please.
God, this is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 4, verse 2. Make not an hungry soul sorrowful.
Read that again.
Make not an hungry soul sorrowful.
Bring it back to me out. IUIC, listen carefully. The IUIC, you hate black people.
Right.
And you afflict black people. And there's a video Commanding General Yohana is going to show, brother, where they went to the site of the massacre in Buffalo, New York.
That's right.
They went to the site of that massacre. And they yelled at black people whose family members were murdered. And they said, you got shot because you deserved it, because you're wicked. The Bible says, don't make the hungry soul sorrowful. IUIC, if you don't want to get shot, Don't go to the people who are hungry and make them sad. We have so many rules in the UPK specifically designed so that we don't fight our people, we fight for them.
Right.
We specifically do that. Specifically. We don't go do a speaking in the projects or in the ghetto and yell at black people because they're on drugs, because they're homeless, because they're suffering. We go downtown and we yell at white people because they're the reason that we're homeless and they're the reason that we're suffering. We don't go to, some poor brother and while he's getting high and on drugs and living outside and embarrass him and shame him for being poor. We don't fight black people. We fight for them. We don't shame them because they're in a situation that they had no control over. They were born into that ghetto, born to that drug-addicted mother, born into that family with that child-molesting uncle. We don't blame them. We blame the oppressor that put them in that condition. And because of that, the Southern Poverty Laws magazine calls us a hate group. Because we yell at white people instead of yelling at black people. We fight for black people instead of fighting them. Why? Because God said, don't make the hungry soul sad. He's already hungry. He's already beaten down. What do you want to do? Beat him down more. Afflict him more. Make him more sad, more ashamed. Not us. Not us. He has enough enemies. We'll fight for him. We'll fight the rich man in defense of the poor. Continue.
Verse 2, make not an hungry soul sorrowful, neither provoke a man in his distress.
Don't provoke a man in his distress. If people are suffering and dying, don't make them angry on purpose. So you can say, you niggas are getting shot because of your wickedness. Captain from Syracuse, what did the IUIC say in Buffalo about the shooting? Now, there was a massacre where 9 people got murdered by a white man in Buffalo. Give me the direct quote to your memory of what the IUIC said. Say it.
The reason the shooting happened, the reason why the people got shot is because you are sinners.
That's what they said. And Commanding General Yohana has the video. They said the reason this white man killed 9 people is because you're sinners. Read that again, Buffalo.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 4, verse 2. Make not an hungry soul sorrowful, neither provoke a man in his distress.
When a man is in distress, why are you yelling at him? His family has been shot. You don't feel anything for people when their family members have been shot. Maybe no one will feel anything for you.
Right.
You have to care. You have to care. You have to care about their poverty. You have to care about their suffering. You have to care about them. Or else why do this job? What are you doing it for? The money? For the 10,000? I'll give up 1,000 of my own money. Are you doing it simply so you can have $1,000 to put to anything you want to put it to? Are you doing it for the money? Because there's other jobs you can do for money. If you can get into Harvard, sorry, you can't get in there anymore. So I guess you can't get into Harvard and make real money anymore. But you don't need to do this job unless you care about people. Continue. From right there, keep reading.
Next verse, sir.
Yes.
Verse 3. Add not more trouble to an heart that is vexed.
Don't add trouble to a heart that is vexed. He's sad. You want to make him more sad. You want him to be more sad. He's already sad. They're in Kansas City, they're in Oklahoma, in Philadelphia, going to poor people in their neighborhoods, chastising them for being poor. Do you know a member in the IUIC? You cannot be in the IUIC unless you maintain constant employment. That's their rules. Damn, so the brother gets fired? What does he have to do? Lose his purple shirt? So you telling me that really, if your religious group says you cannot be in the IUIC unless you maintain full employment, then your membership in the IUIC is dependent upon your supervisor. Because if he fires you, you can't be in the IUIC. Buffalo, Cameron.
And Salaki, sir, what you said is real heavy and powerful because the IUIC is so much college though that you can't have a red unless you have a slavery or a job. So what type of summary is that?
Now, how do you know that?
Because I learned that when I was studying Commander Jenny Hanna, that these false purple gay men teach that you cannot have a red or a beautiful woman
Right.
unless you have a job. So that sounds like you gotta be a damn son.
Yeah, give him a hand. So that means your supervisor controls your sex life. He controls everything about you. Why hurt a man who's suffering already with no job? Suffering already because he's a drug addict. Suffering already because he's homeless. Suffering already because he's committing crimes to eat. Damn, he doesn't need you to beat him. He's being beaten every day. Keep reading.
God, verse 3, add not more trouble to an heart that is vexed.
Don't add trouble to the vexed heart. IUIC members, when you go out there in that purple and you go in to speak to the ghetto and brothers from the street, feel sorry for them.
Right.
Feel compassion for them. And then they will stop shooting you. Feel for them. You have $1,000 you can donate. What do they have? Can you imagine that? Can you imagine saying, you know what? I'm going to add $1,000 of my own money. Must be nice. Must be nice. What does that poor brother have? The brother that's shooting you doesn't have $20 to fill up his gas tank. Why don't you care about him and love him? Yediah. Get Yediah on the camera. Go ahead.
If I may, sir, what you saying is just so heavy. That's one thing I thought about. That's $11,000 that did not go to Joy Morgan's mother or towards her.
Well, did I tell you this? Hold up. How could I forget this? I'm just joking about the IUIC. I make a lot of fun of them because they're so funny. Do you know the IUIC said this week that we killed George Morgan? Do y'all know what I'm talking about? Who heard what I just said just now? You know about it already, don't you? I'm going to send you a text message from Captain Natazar right here. Yediah Yahawadah, correct? I just sent you some. The IUIC, some woman said, what about Joy Morgan? They said, the ISUPK killed Joy Morgan. That's what they said this week. I sent it to Yediah just now. That's how evil these people are. There was a member of their group this sister called Joy Morgan in the UPK. Shout out to Captain Parashad and his warriors in the UPK, and over there in the UK, in the UPK. And she was murdered by an African in the IUIC. Right. They're giving $11,000 to someone that can tell them who can prosecute their shooter of this week. Joy Morgan's family didn't get anything, nothing, a bun.
Well, I was just going to say they were in the UK.
I'm sorry, they were in the UK. That's what I meant to say. Keep reading, brother. Keep reading. Camera, come on.
Oh, God. And defer not to give to him that is in need. So you want, sir?
Well, read it one more time.
God, and defer not to give to him that is in need.
And defer not to give to him that is in need. The IUIC doesn't believe in food programs. You got to make it on your own. That's a quote. You might want to start feeding people. You might want to start helping them. You might want to foster some sense of care in your purple men so that instead of hating poor people who are Black, they could feel the responsibility to care for them. Right. That might stop people from shooting you. Keep reading.
God, verse 4, reject not the supplication of the afflicted.
Don't reject the supplication. What is supplication? Begging. Commanding General Yohana will show videos of them begging them in Buffalo to be nice to them. Their family members just died. Please stop talking to us like this. Please. Please. They were saying it on the video. You know, the IUIC said, we're going to keep talking to you like this. Well, people might shoot you over that. They might want to shoot you over something like that because they love their family members. They love them. And they're poor. And they don't have $1,000 to donate to causes. Continue. You die. You need someone else. Someone get this camera for you, die, so you can keep working. Up front, right here, Syracuse. Go ahead.
God, neither turn away thy face from a poor man.
Don't turn your face away from a poor man. Don't not see his poverty. This ethic that I'm teaching you, this is from Commanding General Yohana. When I was in the world, I didn't care about anyone but myself. I cared about nothing but myself. I didn't care whose wife I slept with. I didn't care what brother I harmed. It meant nothing to me at all. But when I began to follow Commanding General Yohana, he taught me empathy, sympathy, kindness. And these qualities will let men know that you love them. And a man knowing that you love them can chase hatred out of his mind because he knows that you love him. Keep reading.
God, verse 5, turn not away thine eye from the needy.
Keep going.
Say more, sir.
Please.
God, and give him none occasion to curse thee.
Don't give him an occasion to curse you. When you are cruel to poor people, cruel to brothers that don't have a job, cruel to them, then they have a reason to curse you. Some of them is going to light your dumb ass up at the church speaking. They're going to shoot the sexy Jesus. They're going to shoot your men. They're going to shoot everybody because you've given them an occasion to curse you, to hurt you, to harm you. Keep going.
God, verse 6, for if he curse thee in the bitterness of his soul, his prayer shall be heard of him that made him.
Let me tell you something, purple people, purple pigs. When a poor man curses you in the bitterness of his soul, God hears his prayers. Who else will? Not the Supreme Court, not the police, not his baby mama, not his own children. God hears the prayer of the poor and the afflicted, and he might decide that you should get your ass lit up at your church speaking. 1 second, I got to keep going for time's sake. I know you got something heavy to say. No, go ahead and say it, Buffalo. Go ahead.
It's like it, sir. And you know what?
Mm-hmm.
When the men above me was out street teaching, exposing the purple gay men, you know what they said? Hurtful. They said if you want to find Joy Morgan, go pick her up. That's hurtful. They told it themselves, sir. It's like it.
Give him that. Give him that. I'm glad I didn't stop you from saying that because what he said is true. They went in Kansas City. They said, if you love Joy Morgan so much, go dig her up. That was cruel and harmful. Well, someone else felt cruelty as well. And they shot their ass to clean up. Look at this right here. Now look at UPK Hawk. That's Captain Natazar in South Carolina. Read that, someone. Can they see it on the screen? Put that on the screen. Oh, go ahead and read it.
Ask her about Joy Morgan.
Meaning your Natazar is saying, ask your UPK, ask your IUIC friend about Joy Morgan. Go ahead.
Captain Natazar said I slept. The sister responded to Captain Natazar saying I did. She said that the man that killed her was visiting from a group called ISUPK.
Yeah, you go. That's what he said. That's why you see that. Let me tell you something, brother. You have to be careful with things like that. You got to be careful. You don't want to say things like that. God hears that. God hears that kind of lie. Keep going. What verse are you in? I got to wrap this up. Come on.
Verse 7, sir.
I'm coming right now. Give me 2 minutes. Go ahead.
Finish, sir. Verse 7.
And let me know if Commander General Yohana's there, right? Go ahead.
Verse 7. Get thyself the love of the congregation.
Read that again.
Verse 7. Get thyself the love of the congregation.
Read it again.
Verse 7. Get thyself the love of the congregation.
IUIC. If you don't want to get shot, IUIC. If you don't want to get shot, what should you do? Read.
Get thyself the love of the congregation.
That's what you have to do, IUIC.
Right.
The Bible says, get yourself the love of the congregation. Make them love you. You can do that. Make them love you, man. These are people that didn't have fathers, didn't have mothers, didn't have any power structure that cared about them. Be that father. Be that mother. Be that power structure that feeds them, that is kind to them, that feels mercy on them. Get their love. Make them love you. Bragatha Yahweh Yahweh. Oh, brother, then they won't shoot you. They'll kill for you.
Right.
They'll die for you.
That's right.
I pray you understand. That's what will happen. Everybody knows that, don't you? I gotta keep moving on. That's it. Give me the other precept. Well, give Buffalo a hand for reading. Last one. Oh shit, I gotta go. Give me Deuteronomy 32 and 35. Give me the ones I asked for earlier, whoever was writing them down diligently and making sure they were not forget. Who has the precept I asked for earlier?
32 and 35.
You have it? Go ahead. Let Buffalo read. He got it already. Go ahead.
You right, sir. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32, verse 35. To me belongeth vengeance and recompense. Their foot shall slide in due time.
I'm sorry. Let me skip you down for time's sake. That's an excellent one. Give me Romans 12 and 19. Romans 12 and 19 and Proverbs 20 and 22. That should do it for you. Go ahead.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 12, verse 19. Dearly loved, avenge not yourselves.
Read that again.
Verse 19. Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves.
This is Romans 12 and 19. Dearly beloved, don't avenge yourself. I know a lot of you people out there in the world, you hate the IUIC because they made fun of your dead family member, like they made fun of Joy Morgan, or they mocked you when you were in distress. Do not harm them. Do not shoot the IUIC. Don't harm them, Mark. Let me tell you, the Bible says that vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. That statement is not speaking to the person that has angered you. It's speaking to the person who is angry. It's speaking to you. Vengeance is his. Don't take God's vengeance at your own hand. I know you're upset. I know they've made fun of your dead family member. I know they've mocked you in your poverty. I know they've done that. Forgive the IUIC. Forgive them. Don't harm them. Don't shoot them. Why? Because in doing so, you steal God's vengeance. Don't do that. Vengeance is his. 3 weeks ago, in Kansas City, the IUIC assaulted 4 members, anointed priests, sacerdotes y oficiales of the ISUPK, priests and officers. They assaulted them a month ago. They took them, wrestled them down to the ground, and then aided the police in handcuffing them. Everyone called us and told us to retaliate. Everyone said we should go and harm them. And of course, our men love us, and they would kill for us.
Right, that's right.
Commanding General Yohana has only kept me out of jail because I would gladly kill someone for Commanding General Yohana. I would do it if he asked for it. In his love, he has never asked for it. And that's the only reason I haven't done it. Everyone understands? Well, after the Kansas City Four were assaulted by the IUIC, everyone said we should attack them. We should go harm them. Commanding General Yohana said, vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. And we did nothing. We didn't harm them. We didn't come down to their churches and attack them. We did nothing.
Right.
Lo and behold, they got shot 2 weeks later. Vengeance belongs to the Lord, our King.
Right.
It belongs to him. I'm not talking to the brother who angers people. I'm talking to the man who is angry. Do not shoot the IUIC. Don't harm them. Don't shoot them. Let God stand for you.
That's right.
That's what Commanding General Yohana did. That's what the KC4 did. The IUIC got shot in Kansas City 3 days ago. They got shot. There's an $11,000 reward out for the arrest. The ISUPK has been feeding the poor this entire time, teaching on the street, helping pregnant women, helping the homeless, because we know we don't harm people that harm us. We don't do that. We defend the fatherless and we help the sick, and God judges our enemies. Keep reading.
God will God, but rather give place unto wrath.
Rather give place. I know the IUIC makes you angry. They're evil. They're evil men. They are so evil. Brothers in the UPK thought they faked this whole shooting. That's what they thought, because that's how evil they are. They said, go dig up Joy Morgan if you love her. I can only imagine what they've been doing in Kansas City, in the UK, in Philadelphia, in New York, in Brooklyn. I can only imagine how they've hurt you. What about members of the IUIC? While the IUIC is looking for who shot them, you better look at who's wearing purple. They might have shot you. Members of the IUIC, they're probably the shooters. Men who are in the IUIC, who are angry at you because you told their wife to divorce them. The divorce rate in the IUIC is ridiculous because they tell men and they tell women that they have to divorce their husband. The shooter is probably someone in the IUIC. If you are, don't shoot them. Forgive them. Be kind to them. Don't do that, because in doing so, you steal God's judgment. We did nothing to them.
Right.
And they got shot in Kansas City.
Right.
And we did nothing at all. Why? Because the Most High Yahweh stands with Commanding General Yohana.
That's right.
And Commanding General Yohana loves you.
That's right.
He feeds you. He cries with you when you've lost your friends. And he's happy with you when you have reason to rejoice. The IUIC, they hate you, and that makes you want to shoot them. I'm telling you as a prophet of God, do not shoot the IUIC. Don't do that. You are dishonoring yourself and your God by doing so. Give place to your anger. Give way to it. Don't do that to them. Don't shoot the IUIC. Continue.
God, oh God, for it is written, vengeance is mine. I will repay, saith the Lord.
Give me Proverbs 20 and 22. It is written, vengeance is mine. That's in Deuteronomy. Don't do that. I know you're upset with the IUIC. They might have told your wife to leave you. They might have dishonored you because you lost your job. They might have treated you like a bum because you didn't have enough money. Don't shoot them. Don't do that. The Lord God said, if thy right eye offend thee, pluck it out. For it is better that one member burn and the body perish not. If you're in the IUIC and you hate them and you have a plan to shoot them, just stop going around them. Don't go around them. Pluck it out. Get rid of them. Don't be around them anymore. Because in doing so, they're making you angry because they broke up your family, which is what the IUIC does. Break up families. Do not shoot them. I'm giving you an order not to shoot them.
That's right.
Don't do that. Just forget them, leave them alone. And let God work for the innocent. Read.
Proverbs 20:22, sir.
Please.
God, this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 20, verse 22. Say not thou, I will recompense.
Don't say not thou, I will recompense evil. Don't say, well, the IUIC broke up my family. The IUIC mocked me when 9 people got shot in Buffalo. The IUIC mocked me when my daughter got killed in England. Don't do that. Don't say, I'm going to shoot them. I'm going to kill them. I'm going to shoot them in Kansas City. Don't do that. Don't say, I will repay them. You don't repay anybody. Someone harms you, the Most High God allows you to defend yourself. So if someone is currently hitting you, you can harm them. If someone breaks into your home, you can harm them. If you're defending your family or another person, you can harm them. But you cannot go to someone after you are out of danger and harm them. You can't do that. If you're shooting the IUIC, you're wrong. Don't do that. You're wrong for doing that. Forgive them. They offended you. They made your wife leave you. They mocked your dead cousin. They mocked you when 9 people got killed in Buffalo. Forgive them. Because in doing so, who can blow my mind? In forgiving them, in doing so, you heap hot coals upon their head. That's in the Bible. Someone pulled that. That's my last precept. IUIC, I'm trying to save your purple life. I'm trying to save your stupid purple life. I'm telling the men who want to kill you not to do it. Don't do it. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. You assaulted the Kansas City 4. We didn't do anything. Nothing. You got shot 2 weeks later by someone else. Is the Most High God with Commanding General Yohana? Listen, brothers, I've said this many times throughout I've been in the truth since 1995. I've been serving Commanding General Yohana since 1995. How many years is that? I hate to even think because I feel old.
28.
What?
28.
You joking? Are you sure about that? 28 years I've been serving Commanding General Yohana. And I'm going to tell you, like I told so many Israelites, fake Israelite group, so many Christians, so many drug dealers, so many Muslims, effing with Commanding General Yohana is like Vegas.
Right.
It's a gamble. Do you understand? It's a gamble, fuck messing with him.
Right.
I wouldn't do it. He tells me something I don't like. I kind of want to shit. I don't want to get shot. Do you understand? You shouldn't play with him because he will pray for you every day and do nothing to you. And God will rain death on you for him. And that's what happened with the IUIC. Do you know the odds on them getting shot in Kansas City are? Do you understand how coincidental that is? That's amazing.
Right.
And I don't want them to get shot. I don't want them to die. I want them to live until the day that they repent. And to do so, I have to teach you brothers who hate them. Forgive them. Forgive them. Read.
God, but wait on the Lord.
Do what?
But wait on the Lord.
They assaulted the UPK How long was it ago? A month. That's all we waited. 1 month. 1 month. Brother, this doesn't just apply to the IUIC. It applies to the man that slept with your wife, to the man that stole from you, to the brother in your neighborhood who harmed you. I know you want to go kill him. I know you want to shoot him. I know your manhood demands that you take revenge on him. You are stealing from God because vengeance belongs to God. You can't steal from God. Don't insult God. What do you think? God can't defend you? Is that why you're getting a gun and you're shooting that brother that stole from you? Because you think God can't defend you? That brother that took away your family. Are you getting a gun and killing him? A week ago, there was some brother that punched a woman in the face in Chicago because she disrespected him. And then a 14-year-old boy that shot a man because he punched his mother. Why don't we all say to each other, I'm going to forgive you for what you did to me. I'm forgiving you. You yelling at me in the store, I'm not punching you in the face. I'm not going to punch a woman in the face because she's disrespecting me. I forgive that black woman. I forgive that Hispanic woman. Because if God wants to give me justice, he doesn't need me to do it. He'll do it himself. If we all would be kind to each other, wouldn't God still bring justice on the guilty?
Right.
And wouldn't God still defend the innocent? God doesn't need us to shoot each other in the ghettos for justice to happen. God is the author of justice and the defender of the innocent. Do not hurt each other because you're angry. Do not harm each other because you've been wronged. Because God said, vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. With that, pass the class over to the officer.
ISUPK, 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rules for new brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest, after 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will be courted, will court each other. At the 6 months period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry.
Right.
Tithes, which is a commandment, Numbers chapter 8, 18 and 21, Malachi 3, 8 to 10, means 10 in the Hebrew. Mayashra, 10% of every penny, any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the teacher. Priest funds. Free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations.
September 15th.
September 15th.
The more you blow on the trumpets. Blow on the trumpets.
Blowing of the trumpets. Announcement. Remind Akim and Akwat to check the bulletin board in the hallway. If any wants to be a trooper in the school, start to wear all black boots, shirts, pants, and headbands. And with that, I remind you. The brothers. Ahmad Shabbat. Ahmad Barak.
Yahweh Shem Yahushua.
Sorry, sisters, sisters, stand, right hand. All right, we're gonna give one courteous salute to the sisters. Amaju Shabbat, Amaju Barak,
Yahweh Shem Yahushua.
let's dismiss.